Hi everyone, and welcome back to Curious Business Talks. Long time no see. In today's episode, we are joined by Stella Franjic, and she's going to introduce herself shortly. But I first want to ask her how is she today and what's happening today? What are you planning?
Hi. I am good. Caffeined up today. Oh, it's a very exciting day for me because I'm going to a concert of one of my really favorite ever bands from high school, like still from high school, and I listen to them a lot.
Okay, so
Oh
it's
yeah.
going to be an eventful day for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so for some people, I have a backstory. For some people that are guests on my podcast, I don't. But can you shortly explain our connection to the audience and how do we know each other in general?
Yeah. So Nicoletta and I met through a mutual friend when she brought you to this house music party event. And I asked her, does she want to go? And she said she's already going.
Mm-hmm.
I was also already going. Like I was gathering more people. And that was the first time, even though we might not have uh, talked a lot there, that
Mm-hmm.
was the first time we met.
Okay. Okay. For the record, my memory arranged the events differently. For me, my first time getting to know you and meeting you, because for me, I always say, like, if I don't have a memory with the person, I don't remember anything about them. So I need to sit down, chat, get to
Yeah.
know them in a way so I can connect the face to the person. So maybe it happened so that my first memory of you was the pub where we met and we talked. We actually talked. I got to know you. I asked you questions. And that for me was the time I really got to know you and I got introduced to you in my mind. Because she was like in my memory, "Oh, I'm meeting this girl after our hangout. Would you like to join us for drinks?" And I was like, yeah, of course, I would like to meet you for drinks. And then we find out that we're both Leos and so on and so on. And for me, the event was the next thing that happened in my timeline. But I might be wrong. I don't
You
know.
are wrong.
But it doesn't really matter because for me, that conversation was much
Yeah,
more important to get to know you than the concert. The concert was just like a blip in the universe that it was very confusing for all parties. And it was just like
I
a,
agree.
for sure it was fun, but it was kind of a chaotic experience.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
But let's see, if you remember me from the concerts, then based on that answer, what was your first impression of me then?
I mean, we haven't talked that much on concerts like that. That was not the opportunity to actually talk.
Mm-hmm.
We were introduced.
Yes.
I don't know. Oh, my first impression. Well, you just wanted to dance, like dance yourself out. You and Fuzzy,
Yeah.
and the rest of us, we were like tired, and we were just like, no, let us sit and drink beers and wallow. You were like the two energetic people, you and Fuzzy there. So
Uh-huh.
that's my first impression of you.
Energetic to brain cells jumping. Many people will wonder, okay, Nicoletta does web design and consultations. Maybe they do know, but maybe they don't know that you and I have like a also a professional business relationship, like a mentor and mentee. But if you have to summarize, like, why are we having this conversation and what brings you here? And if someone is getting to know you through this video, how would you say, who are you as a person?
All right. So first things first,
Yeah.
our professional relation, which came upon, when was that? Maybe like 2, 3 months.
Yes, 3 months ago, probably.
3 months. And I had this in plans way back when we met at the cake shop when I was late for 1 hour. Remember? That's when I told you about this, and it
Yeah.
just took me a little bit more time to
Mm-hmm.
prepare myself
Mm-hmm.
because what I asked you is was to can you help me? Can you
Mm-hmm.
be my mentor? Because as I got to know you, I realized I really appreciate how organized and how reliant and how actually adult you are. Which I am not that much. I'm not that much, but I definitely wanted to learn from you,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted you to help me with my venture because I know you're doing your own thing, you're doing your own business,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something I needed help with.
Mm-hmm.
And you are the only person wanted, who I felt I can um actually talk with openly
Mm-hmm.
and be stupid with,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know what I'm doing, and I know I want to do it. So you are my mentor. That's our professional relation. And who am I?
Or if
That's
it's easier, like what brings you
mhm.
here?
Okay, yeah. So I wanted to start my something, and it took me very long time to be ready, actually, because I wanted to for a long time, and I just didn't know what exactly,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know how. I still don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm still like, oh my God, I'm so lost, and I wouldn't have be even able to start if it wasn't for your support.
Mm-hmm.
But so I am a spokesperson. Let's say I am an advocate for disability rights. I am a speaker. I am a consultant. I am the person who you come to,
Mm-hmm.
who every who everyone comes to, actually, when they need empathetic ear, when they need somebody who will listen to them, but
Mm-hmm.
not only listen, but actually hear what they're saying
Mm-hmm.
and acknowledge them and support them, because I have a great understanding of people and problems. And I also love to share joy with people,
Yeah.
because through my life and through my experience, I've become really good at this. And so, like, if I had a penny every time somebody told me that I should be a therapist or I should do something with this,
Yes.
I would be
Rich.
very rich, very
Yeah.
rich. We would be on a yacht, Nicoletta,
Yeah.
having this podcast.
Yeah.
And I would not be on my laptop camera, but on a true professional camera. So that's what I'm doing. That's why
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, so you're trusting the process and your vision and starting to
Yeah,
slowly but surely
definitely.
shape what is in your mind.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's
And
so
it's
nice to
still
hear.
so scary and confusing, but that's what it is. And it is like that for people who are in it for a long time,
Yes.
for years.
Yeah.
It's just how things work. And I had to accept that and just roll with it.
Yes. And something you can implement in the future, like you can ask yourself, like, am I scared or just really excited? Because that could be also the other side of the feeling when you are like, yes, it is unknown, but maybe it could be an excitement that you look towards to rather than fear, like of undone, unknown or trying something different or something like that. Just like mind shift of like, I'm actually excited to try this new thing or to reach out to this new person or to apply for this speaking event or to put my offer here or anything similar. So I think that would
To
be
put
a nice.
myself out, like be
Yeah,
vulnerable.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's very, very correct. And it's something I've been doing, and I've been forcing myself, and I still force myself to do, is
Mm-hmm.
getting out of my comfort zone, because that's the way how you grow, like as a
Exactly.
person. And I
Mm-hmm.
love doing that. I love it. It's the best thing in life to do, actually,
Mm-hmm.
for yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
not only for yourself, for everybody who is in your life as well.
Mm-hmm. And if somebody knows Stella, she knows everybody, and it would be a shame not to use all these connections and all these networking powers that you have and not use them for something good, like your mission, your goal, and your vision in terms of creating something like that maybe exists somewhere else but not around you at the moment.
Yeah,
The next
thank you
question.
for mentioning that.
Of course, of course. And who are we? We are the people who are backing us up, the people who believe in us, the people who talk in our ear whenever we feel doubtful and not sure, and support us and cheer on us and are there for us when we are feeling like, is this even worth it? Is this even working? So I think that's one thing that you already have, like a good support system, and
Mm.
I cannot wait to see what will happen in the future. I cannot wait to see. And the next,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. The next question is this your first podcast appearance?
oh well, it's not actually
Mm-hmm.
because I was a guest at one speaking event. That's on a podcast, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not my first podcast. The event was Taboo Mic, where you can apply to speak about something that is taboo for you,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also a taboo for probably a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. So yeah, that there I was applied on the first ever taboo mic.
Mm-hmm. And my question is now, if people want to look up that episode of Taboo Mike, especially on Spotify, let's say, can you tell us what is your taboo? What did you talk about there? What is something
Mm.
that you want to talk about even more?
What is my taboo? One of my taboos I
Mm-hmm.
can talk about day and night is
Mm-hmm.
oh, by the way, we didn't even talk about the like I have a disability. Probably
Yeah, yeah, I didn't mention that, but
that's
for me, you don't have it. For me, you're just like a normal person that sits in a chair or in a throne 24/7. That's for
thrown.
me.
Yeah, thrown.
Yeah, that's it.
Exactly.
So I think
So
your
I
personality is so much bigger than your disability that honestly I don't consider it something that worth mentioning or that is so big and important.
well, yeah, and I love that. That's what I want everybody to
Mm-hmm.
think and perceive me like that
Mm-hmm.
because it's a part of me and it's not my personality, but in
Mm-hmm.
this regards, it is important to
For the
mention.
viewers, yes, clarify.
Yeah, I am a person with a disability. Everybody who knows me knows I cannot lift a glass to drink or put my earphone back if it falls down
Mm-hmm.
or like comb my hair. Like I cannot do anything. The taboo I was talking about
Mm-hmm.
was sexuality, and it is a big taboo, and it was a big taboo for me until late in life, I guess, because I am a person with a disability and you cannot see it now,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very visible disability.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a wheelchair. I look different. My body looks different. And I was never perceived as desirable, let's say, most of my life
Mm-hmm.
until sometime when I decided it's enough.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the taboo I was talking about
Mm-hmm.
at Taboo Mic. And you can hear it on Spotify. It's just that it's in Croatian, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But whoever is interested about this, I will definitely talk. I will definitely advise. I will definitely lead many support groups and have talks about this topic because
Mm-hmm.
it is important and because I feel I am confident enough in this to present it to everybody
Yeah.
and to anybody.
Are you planning on, this is off the script at the moment, but are you planning on recording any talks or maybe facilitating a webinar or workshop where you can talk about this topic, the taboo, having exploring your sexuality as a disabled person online in English for an audience? And if somebody is interested, should they comment below, contact you? Like, what should they do? What should they expect?
Absolutely. Well, in not so far future, near future, I will conduct a series of webinars, online support groups, because I already have experience of conducting support groups
Mm-hmm.
for people with disabilities on this topic of sexuality,
Okay.
which is a big, big taboo amongst us. But also, I have experience in talking about this topic to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a couple of small like TV shows, couple of interviews about it, and I underwent the education for sexuality and intimacy in occupational therapy field.
Oh, okay.
So I will have a series on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
definitely,
Okay.
and it's already starting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already putting out content.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can find out by subscribing, of course, and for now, feel free to reach out to me in any channel.
For all the links and all the talk shows that you have been to, or any video recordings from your previous talks, I will include them in the description below. As you said, you can barely do anything on your own, but still you're showing up, you're going outside, you are meeting people, you are attending events, speaking and advocating and doing so much in one day that I sometimes wonder, how does she do that in 24 hours? But I also was wondering while I was writing these questions for you, when was the first time that you felt like you need to speak about any topic that is like important to you, like publicly, and how did it happen? Like, did somebody find you? Did you decide to include yourself in the space where the conversation was happening? Do you remember how it started?
Great question, Nicoletta. Yeah. What first came to my mind is I am. This is my personality. I have it in me to just like question things and know about it and talk about it and voice myself.
Mm-hmm.
So from school, like I was always encouraged to talk. I
Okay.
am fortunate enough to have been in supportive environments
Mm-hmm.
throughout my education, and that's where it all started. Honestly, I had really nice, and I mean, of course, it was like everybody. There were like periods and troubles and
Mm-hmm.
stuff that happened throughout like growing up, but definitely that's when it started. And as I grew older,
Mm-hmm.
as I enrolled into college, the big thing for me was I attended logic and philosophy classes,
Okay. Okay.
and I've learned how to think and how to reason and how to, speak. um, and ever since I opened up myself because I was an introvert, like I was a big introvert.
You.
Yeah, before you met me, you would not
Okay.
believe it. My
Yeah.
sister is one of the people who knows it. I would never approach anybody. For example, nowadays, like I am somewhere, I need help pressing a button on the elevator. I'm like, hey, can you help me?
Yeah.
To anybody, I
Yeah.
would never do that. I would stay there for hours
Oh my
because
goodness.
I was yeah, I was extremely introverted, but
Okay.
I hated it. I
Mm.
really I really it I've seen that it disadvantages me more than I am already disadvantaged. Unfortunately, I mean, as a physically disabled person.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked on myself a lot, and
Okay.
through work on myself, and by knowing this, getting to know philosophy and
Mm-hmm.
so many like critical thinking, it just naturally happened.
Okay.
And I would get asked questions by people, and I would find myself answering them. Questions that are provocative, questions that are personal, questions that are, and I just had to find the means to answer them.
Mm. So you ended up having mini TED Talks ever since then. When you opened up, the shell was cracked, and you started. Okay, let me preach you all. Let me preach you. Let me
Yeah,
preach on all my topics and all my topics that I wanna.
yeah, kind of,
Yeah.
because if somebody wants to know, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I will talk, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna like push myself and like, oh, listen to me. No, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah,
do
yeah.
that. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna talk if you are interested. And
Yeah.
people were interested for some reason. I don't know why.
I think that's the sweet spot when you are not being pushy and pushing your
Mm,
agenda, but rather being confident in yourself and just living your best life. That's when people actually are interested and want to know and pursue information with curiosity rather than just accept it, you know. So you're not yelling at people and telling them what they need to know, but you are just having this in you, and whenever they ask, you answer, and that's like the sweet spot, in my opinion, when it comes to topics that they're not familiar with or they wonder. And I love
mm,
when you find yourself in a social situation and you see someone wants to ask, or you see someone wants to start a conversation but they don't know how, and you just cut them off and say like you something provocative like, oh, you want to know why I ended up here or something like that, making joke out of the situation. That's my favorite
I
time
love
when I'm
that.
like, oh, it's starting.
I love doing that. I love
I know, I
it.
have seen you in your element.
I love shocking people. I love that. Like, just like, oh,
Yes, yes.
yeah, I'm gonna tell you, even though you don't wanna ask. I know you want to ask.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see it on your face. If you started like talking about things that are important to you from high school and even university, what kind of conversations and topics do you wish to speak from now on? Like, what is on your on the back of your mind? Like, what you want to talk about right now?
The main thing that connects all the topics is connection and humanity and how to stay human
Mm-hmm.
in this age of like amazing, incredible, lovely progress
Yeah.
and all the advantages it has for us.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the sexuality, it's not just about sex, it's about intimacy and deep, intense connections
Mm-hmm.
and peers around that. Also, it's about, I want to talk about loneliness because I've been so lonely that like I never want to go through that again. I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about depression. I want to talk about the stigma of depression. I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about the, you know, the norms which are expected of us be we are disabled like I am or
Mm-hmm.
not,
Okay.
or able-bodied. And
Normies.
I,
That's how you call us, right?
yeah, that's how we call them. Yeah, normal.
Yeah.
And also because I have experience, I can also talk about abuse, abuse as somebody who is disabled
Mm-hmm.
and abuse in family, abuse in very difficult topics,
Mm-hmm.
or even financial abuse, peer abuse, and also as well about inclusivity, but especially about inclusive work and workplaces and how to actually be inclusive in
Mm-hmm.
work site,
Okay.
professional environments.
Like being inclusive in professional environment, not only on paper, but in practical sense, right?
Oh, definitely. Like theory is one thing,
Mm-hmm.
like, and real life is much, much, much more complex, but it doesn't have to be complicated.
Okay. Can
It
you give
can
us
be
an
very
example?
simple.
Can you give us an
Yeah,
example of a inclusive work environment and how that looks like one or two things for us to just imagine what that looks like for you?
yeah, definitely. If I am somebody who works in a company office,
Mm-hmm.
the desk is accessible because that's how it needs to be on paper, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe even the bathroom at
Mm-hmm.
the headquarters, at the whatever place you work on at the storage facility
Mm-hmm.
is accessible. That does not mean I can use it. If
Mm-hmm.
maybe I need help, maybe I need assistant,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I cannot lift that glass to drink, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just like having the humanity also is necessary, and without it, like, you cannot say you are inclusive and you are accessible. That would be like very simple
Example. Yeah.
example.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. If we ask three of your closest friends, what is Stella like? How would they describe you?
Fun, shameless, caring.
Fun, shameless, and caring.
Yes.
Okay. You're a virtual assistant as well, and I was wondering, have you had any jobs before that? And would you like to work as something else or like any other job title, or do you plan to focus on your own public speaking journey?
So yeah, I am a freelance virtual assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yes, I had other job as well. Before that, I
Mm-hmm.
was administrative assistant in a disability creation disability organization.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I am a youth leader for young people with disabilities.
Okay.
Ever since like 8, 9 years, I would love to do is definitely I want to focus on my channel, my audience, my personal brand and business.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've always wanted to do. So I'm going to focus on that, but I'm also going to continue freelancing as
Mm-hmm.
much as physically possible
Yeah.
because I've learned by the hard way
Mm-hmm.
that respecting and caring for my own personal like, physical and mental health has to come first. Like it,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Setting boundaries. Yep.
yeah.
Okay, this is something that probably most people who pursue want to pursue this kind of freelance lifestyle, and they were wondering like, what is the process to become a virtual assistant? Can you briefly tell us like if someone is just now getting to understand
Mm.
about the position, like how easy it is to become a virtual assistant and anything you want to mention about that?
All right, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, anybody who is internet literate
Mm-hmm.
can be
Mm-hmm.
can learn to be a virtual assistant. There are
Okay.
many like great resources and courses actually, which I also took on how to become virtual assistant and what does it even mean? Because people constantly to this day still ask me, what exactly am I doing? Like, what is a virtual assistant?
Yeah.
And um, to put it shortly, it would be like if if you, for example, do you
Mm-hmm.
know the TV show Suits? You
Mm-hmm.
have a character there who is
Mm-hmm.
a secretary
Okay.
to the main to the lawyer, and
Mm-hmm.
she does for him. She does like everything. She's like keeping him like functional, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, that is kind of what a virtual assistant does.
Mm-hmm.
So you help other people run their business smoothly, effectively, and efficiently.
Mm. Okay. Okay. And there is training and materials out there that you can go through and become a virtual assistant.
Yes, definitely. Like you need to be able to
Past that.
you don't pass that, but also like if there is one field you are good at,
Mm-hmm.
that's good enough. It doesn't have to be that you need to have all of the like, for example, financial tools in your hand
Mm-hmm.
or creative tools, or it can be one thing and you
Mm-hmm.
just go and find your clients based on your skills, or
Mm-hmm.
or as I did, I am in an agency and they
Mm-hmm.
find clients for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a big thing, finding actually clients
To
who
match
you
you.
will work for.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's
When you are a freelancer.
Yeah, that's really good to mention that you can either pursue your
Yeah,
clients on your own or actually
yeah,
start with an agency and get some reputation and some experience and get to see what is it to be a virtual assistant. That's great.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
And what do you want to do in the future? Like, do you have like a dream job? For example, Since I was little, I wanted to travel the world and just taste different foods. I don't know how this will manifest in a job, but
That's a great job, Nicoletta.
yeah.
Well, since I was little, I always wanted to climb mountains.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
really,
Yeah.
but like extreme, like really like
Mm-hmm.
adventurous climbing, not hiking. Mm, maybe that could be my hobby when I'm able to afford it.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, a realistic job would be what I'm doing, what I'm really good at, what I love to do, and what I want to do all the time, which is caring for people and supporting them, helping people. And this is what I am trying to actually, that's the gist of
Mm-hmm.
why I'm starting my own business and
Yeah.
journey
Yeah.
to be able to live from that. That's
Mm-hmm.
the dream. Like that's the biggest dream.
Okay. It sounds good to me. How do
Yeah.
you manage to be social despite your condition? Like, how do you find energy to go out and be around people and have the mental and physical battery to socialize so much? Because you really know absolutely everyone I have ever met in these 9 years in Zagreb. Like, you know everybody.
Like you're not the only one. So many people who know me say, even my boss,
Yeah.
like from the virtual assistant
Yeah.
agency, she says that she told me like you're more active than 90% of people I in my whole life, and none of them is disabled.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because I guess I know what it's like to not be able to do that, and it's horrible, and I don't want it to for anybody, and I never want it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, which will sound like such a cliche. Can
Yeah.
I swear?
Yeah, you can.
No. Oh, and I fucking hate being
Censored.
no, I fucking hate cliches and like
Yeah.
soapy things, but I guess I am doing that, like not only living on the edge, but living my everyday like it's the last one. That's
Mm.
what I'm like. That is what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing ever since,
Okay.
because that's what life taught me. That's what really, really horrible, difficult um, periods I've been through, and just reinforce that
Mm-hmm.
that I
Mm-hmm.
should do that, and I
Mm-hmm.
should enjoy, and I
Mm-hmm.
should do whatever I want, and be that trying 10 different things and failing at them until trying this again now with this my business,
Yeah.
just like not giving up, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, and
Mm-hmm.
enjoying it, enjoying the process.
Okay, so I remember also like you were like, I'm in pain, but I would rather be outside and in pain. So, so your brain wires like this, like if I don't feel well, this doesn't mean that I have to stop myself from being outside and being social and like enjoying.
And trying to improve my well-being by that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not wallow in self-pity, like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, please.
Yes. So admirable, so admirable.
Oh,
Then I wanted to ask also with one word, that's a challenge. What do you think you have as a quality that is in abundance compared to other people?
oh, we love challenges.
Yeah.
Um, I love it. I would say patience or
Patience.
or understanding. Oof,
Which one is bigger?
one of oof,
I think
understanding.
understanding, yeah. Patience ends at some point.
Wow, thank you.
But no, it's valid for me too, and for every person out there. You cannot have like abundant patience. Like at some point, you have to put your foot and we say like, okay, enough is enough.
Oh, I'm very impatient in some ways, like, but in
Mm.
some, like, I've learned to be the most patient. But
Hmm.
understanding, or better say, compassion, I guess.
Okay. What do you find the most difficult in this like first step of your business and starting out? Like what is the most difficult thing you found yourself in?
Yeah, it was starting, just starting, but also like pushing myself to be the creative person I know I am since ever,
Mm-hmm.
but that creativity was suppressed
Mm-hmm.
throughout years, throughout situations, throughout life, throughout difficulties,
Mm-hmm.
barriers, and problems,
Mm-hmm.
which I still am facing. But now I've found the resolve, the strength to go against that,
Mm-hmm.
and that which is very difficult. So yeah, that
Okay.
is the most.
So starting not in a way just thinking about it, but actually making steps and actions towards what you want. Okay.
Yeah, and continue, like not just like
Drop it.
day or two or
Yeah.
a week,
Yeah.
but like continuously and
Mm-hmm.
improve as well, not
Mm-hmm.
just stagnate. Oh, so difficult.
That's why I'm here. What comes naturally to you and you love doing on this journey? Like, what do you find yourself like excited about these days?
You mean in my professional
Yeah.
journey?
Yeah.
I guess writing.
Writing. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't put out anything, but I wrote quite a lot
Mm-hmm.
content, and but also lately I
Mm-hmm.
started filming
Mm-hmm.
and just like talking to camera,
Yeah.
and I found it so fun, which was like, what? I did
Okay.
not expect that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you were exploring the mediums of writing and recording at the moment. Okay. And
Yeah.
personally, you can also share personally what brings you most like joy, I would say.
mm. Oh wow. Well, you know hangouts, like
Mm-hmm.
always,
Mm-hmm.
currently my loving partner,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
concerts like today, skincare like always,
Okay.
cosmetics, and food, food, food,
Food,
food.
food, 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 and everything else. Okay, that's a great list of things. I love that, and I would also say that about you, like in hangouts, food, concerts, your partner. Yeah, it makes sense. What you would advise someone who is just entertaining the idea of starting something of their own, if you can, in one or two sentences?
Oh, yes, I can.
Okay.
Uh, love that question. So what I would advise myself when I was entertaining the idea
Mm-hmm.
is don't just continue finding reasons for excuses, but find reasons to get yourself prepared, ready to
Mm-hmm.
start. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I was doing for a couple of months before I reached out to you
Yeah.
uh, to be my mentor. And like that was at the time when I felt I was ready,
Mm-hmm.
when I felt I'm capable, because you need to be ready. You
Mm-hmm.
need to know like this is like it's a lot, but like you can enjoy it, you can have fun, and it is really fun.
Okay. Okay. So to summarize it, you would say don't only prepare and procrastinate, but also.
But also start like action,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you do it. Just like taking action, that's the hardest,
Would you say
one
that
of the
you
hardest.
became ready after taking those actions and steps?
No, I actually had to prepare myself mentally to
Mm-hmm.
be ready, to
Mm-hmm.
not be, like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so exhausted, I'm this, I'm that. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot do this as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With everything that life throws at us,
Yep.
that those are the excuses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There will
Yeah.
always be
Yep.
excuses. But still, like just taking action and starting, for me, it took like I need to be ready,
Mm-hmm.
prepared. And I was. So yeah.
Okay. Preparation. Okay. What is a secret for knowing every single person alive? What is your secret? How do you know everybody?
Oh, dating apps.
They okay. Period.
You
That
get to
was the
know
answer. Okay.
so many people on dating apps.
Men and women, because you also have so many friends from dating apps like Bumble, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay, dating apps.
Okay.
Can you give us like image, like where can we see you in 2 years and what can we expect in 2 years? Just like a vision board,
How if
like
I know?
yeah.
How if I know? But if I manage
Mm-hmm.
to do what I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
you could see me. Oh, oh God. You could see me speaking at events, at social events,
Mm-hmm.
as a spokesperson for people with disabilities. You could see me traveling around and connecting with people from all over the world and
Okay.
collaborating together.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is like topics I'm talking about are very broad and it can relate to so many people,
Yeah.
not just people with disabilities, normies as well.
She's inclusive, people. She's inclusive.
Yeah,
We're
of
also
course.
in it. Oh, I was just wondering now when you mentioned public events, public speaking events, and conferences. Would you ever do a TED Talk? Because there are TEDx series in Zagreb and Croatia as well. Would you be interested in having your own talk in any of the TED formats?
Yeah, definitely. That's like my goal.
Okay, okay. So we
That
should
is
put
the
it on
goal,
the list.
Nicoletta.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I'm just
definitely.
asking. Now it's like a great time for you to manifest and encapsulate this feeling right now on this podcast and see when in 2 years we check again. Who do you want to work with in the future? And are there any dream collabs on your list?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are dream collabs.
Mm-hmm.
My idol when it comes to what I am doing currently would be which I told you about and I shared with you my favorite influencer,
Mm-hmm.
content creator, Tess
Mm-hmm.
Daly, but also like people who I know who are really great at what they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
For example, this friend whose job is to travel the world and
Yeah.
she gets paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I would love to work with her.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to work with people who got where they are
Mm-hmm.
with their own talents and hard work,
Mm-hmm.
and are very successful.
Any companies, maybe brands,
And
yeah.
some brands, of course, who support inclusivity, like Zalando. I
Mm-hmm.
see their content and I'm loving it, like inclusive fashion,
Mm-hmm.
inclusive cosmetics, but not
Mm-hmm.
only. Like I
Skincare.
would love, yeah, but not only like I would love to see a car company that makes accessible cars.
Mm.
I would love to work with a wheelchair company like AIDS.
Yeah.
I would love it. The thing is, like, they need to want to
Mm-hmm.
accommodate
Yeah.
everybody. So that's on them. I
Okay.
will try my best.
I asked a couple of times on my social media, and you did as well. Like our audiences, like what would they ask you if they can,
Mhm.
so we
Yeah.
can actually answer some questions on this podcast.
Oh,
Eh,
fun.
Yes, and one of the questions was from my Instagram, how to be happier as a neurodivergent? Neurodivergent?
Neurodivergent. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I would preaching. I don't want to preach.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say do whatever feels right for you
Mm.
because like in your gut you know it and try not let the obtrusive thoughts and way of thinking guide your day or this like like decide how you feel and
Mm-hmm.
just be aware of that
Mm-hmm.
which takes practice and it takes work to be able to do that.
Okay.
Reach out to professionals or reach out to somebody for support and just like talking, voicing it out
Mm-hmm.
it helps in great ways
Mm-hmm.
and hearing friendly word, friendly advice.
Okay. Another question was like, what do I tell my kids, 5 and 6, when we see a person with disability while they're still staring?
Oh yeah, I had the situation the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Outside, I ran into my one of my neighbors, which I this was the second time actually I ran into them, and
Mm-hmm.
she's a mom, and dad was there as well, and they have two little adorable cute kids, and kids like kids being kids, they're very like one the younger one, he was giving me shoes from his mom that were in his wheelchair. Like I'm like, thank you so much, that's so cute. You know, kids are
Generous.
unbiased,
Yes.
unbiased and generous.
Yeah.
And the older one, he was he was being friendly, and then out of the blue, he
Mm-hmm.
comes because you know, like my hands are like this most of
Mm-hmm.
the time. Like I
Mm-hmm.
cannot straighten them.
Mm-hmm.
This one, yeah, okay. And he asked me like, "Why do you keep your hands like that?" And I'm like, "Well, yes, I love that." And the parents were like scared, and like they looked
Mortified.
at me. Yeah, because they were like they thought I would be uncomfortable. They were
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I love that. Like you should
They should ask.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like me, and not only me, but people with disabilities,
Mm-hmm.
we should like not feel angry about this because
Mm-hmm.
it's very natural and
Yeah.
it's without any bad intention.
Mm-hmm.
Just answer them honestly,
Yeah.
simply, honestly. It's a, I have a disability
Mm-hmm.
and my hands don't function like
Mm-hmm.
yours.
Okay.
Very simple. Be
Okay.
truthful.
Yeah.
And don't like don't the worst thing you can do is shush them and bring this sense of shame around,
Tabooing. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
around seeing different people, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Around this question, there was also a comment like that they usually as a mom answers that we as a people come in different shapes and sizes and they are just different. Would you say this is like an acceptable? And they also have like a equal amount of love in their hearts. Like, do you think that's like a good answer to kids' questions when they are like curious about people with disability?
Yeah, definitely, it's
Mm-hmm.
great, but also if you would like to tell them a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
because like I believe like making them aware of reality
Mm-hmm.
is is good, is
Yeah.
benefiting for them.
Yep. There is another question. What is the most uncomfortable situation that you have found yourself in?
Yeah,
That we
okay.
can say on the internet.
Life is very uncomfortable for me, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Even though I don't give that,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it is extremely uncomfortable. It is so weird. It is odd. It is bizarre. It's like life. What is life? That's so uncomfortable. And being in this body is like where you cannot do anything. Like, I've had so many situations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, should I be explicit? Like really explicit? Or
Well,
maybe,
as I said, like a story that still answers the question, but is that they will not take down my video. Okay.
yeah, okay. So for example, well, it's a really uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
And for most, it would be like you would just want to be buried underground, not
Mm-hmm.
that so that nobody can ever see you again. For example, when you're on a date,
Mm-hmm.
and this happened to me not once
Mm-hmm.
because I have dysfunctional digestive system,
Mm-hmm.
and I also have dysfunctional bladder, so I'm wearing an aid that is a pee bag.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes this happens and I cannot pee and I need help with the pee bag.
Yeah.
And when you ask the person who you are with on a first date
Yeah.
ever
Yeah.
to hey help me with my pee bag, I mean I that counts as
Mm.
extremely uncomfortable,
Yeah, it does.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm so used to it. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And what are the usual reactions like? What is the most uncomfortable reaction that you have gotten or something that happened? Mm.
well, I mean,
Shocking
I'm not,
confusion.
yeah, okay, that's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't ever go on dates with people who are not aware of me and like what I am, who I am as a
Mm-hmm.
person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like if they talk with me, they would know I'm like really shameless and I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is one of the situations they like need to account for to
Mm-hmm.
be to be in with me if they
Okay.
arrange the date.
To summarize, you telling them about your pee bag.
Yeah,
Okay.
amongst
Okay.
so many other things.
Okay. You'll tell me about in private. Do you have the qualifications and training to do therapy?
Oof, yeah. So no, 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 and
Mm.
no. A
Okay.
definitive no. Unfortunately, no. I'm not a therapist.
Okay.
It's not something I try to be actually.
Mm-hmm.
I know I could be good at it. It's just like not for me.
Why do you think they would ask about therapy? Did you say something about you providing some kind of emotional support and maybe they confused it with therapy?
Yeah, definitely. I do offer emotional support sessions
Mm-hmm.
on Fiverr.
Mm-hmm.
That's what like one-on-one anybody can
Mm-hmm.
book. And also I am the I always am the emotional support. I am the therapist in the group.
Mm-hmm.
I am the person who my friends come
Yeah.
to have talks with on one, like just like because I will listen, I
Okay.
will hear, and I will help if I can.
And you also have the license to be, what was it?
I have a certificate that
Yes.
I am sexuality and intimacy occupational therapist.
Therapist. Okay. You have to explain to me what is it that you do? What is
That's a
it that
great
you do?
question.
Yeah.
What do I do? Yeah, what
Yeah.
do I do? I'm a best friend you come to vent
Mm-hmm.
to. I am somebody who is passionate about advocating for topics that are underrepresented, people who feel like they're underrepresented. I am a consultant. I am a mentor.
Could you share some guidance for those of us without disabilities on how to interact with in a respectful and balanced way?
Yeah, you need to fill the room. Some people, when you come up to them and ask them things like people know they can ask me like very openly
Yeah.
because I am an open book. I love that.
Yeah.
I love when people come and ask me private or like intrusive questions. I don't
Yeah.
mind that, but you
Yeah.
need to know like some people might really be hurt,
Yeah.
and you need to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, just be like around any other person. That's all. Be
Okay.
kind.
Be kind, read the room, and be respectful. How can we avoid overprotecting someone with disability without ignoring their disability altogether?
It's such a complex thing. About this a lot, for example, with my partner, because it's very difficult to perceive because people with disabilities here, if we are talking about here, but also elsewhere, not only in Croatia,
Mm-hmm.
have been subject to being presented in negative ways. And most oftenly, we them ourselves, we ourselves present ourselves in this, like it's called a medical model or like a
Mm-hmm.
pitiful way,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to
Okay.
speak plainly, and which is actually unfortunately very negative. You cannot be disrespectful to anybody if you treat them as a human being. Simple as that.
Okay. I sometimes worry that my direct approach might come across as disrespectful, even though I try to focus on the person first, not the disability.
Yeah, that is a thing, and like it's a really big topic. I obviously I will talk about this more because it's a pain point and it's very interesting. Like I said, like try to fill the room,
Mm-hmm.
try to see the character,
Okay.
how the person are they shy, are they introverted,
Mm-hmm.
and then approach them in that way instead of like, hey, why are you in a wheelchair? if we
Yeah.
are adults. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. I will leave all Stella's links and ways you can contact her in the description and in the comments below. Thanks so much for taking the time and can't wait to hear your next videos and topics that you're going to talk about.
Thank you so much for having me. I love this.